Hi guys, so I wanted to just expand a little bit on what I talked about direct channeling and light language, more than what I did on the previous post I made. So when we talk about direct channeling, I mentioned soul remembrance. So soul remembrance is a very key part of channeling directly. So when I come across direct channelers, I have an immense amount of respect for them because I know exactly what all they did to get to that space and capability to be able to channel. And I want to just add some perspective on how that happens and why. Because it is something that I don't feel like is talked about much on these type of channels, but more so in private courses, one-on-one mentorships, and things like that. So direct channeling takes a lot of work in regards to shadow integration, soul remembrance and activation, and soul alchemy on a quantum level. So we have no past lives, we have no future lives, everything's happening all at once. So we all can acknowledge that time is essentially like an illusion, if you will. When we work on the quantum level, we're working through all space and time, all frequency, all dimension, everything's happening all at once, correct? So for me, when I first started channeling, I was only channeling Mantis 13-dimensional frequency. And I was so curious about light language and like, oh my gosh, what is this clicking language? Is this Morse code? Did I have a past life as a code breaker or something in the military? Who knows? I was literally searching for all answers, and that's when I came upon light language and I realized that's what was happening. Reason now that I know it's Mantis beings, and it was a Mantis activation at that time, and Mantis is one of the highest forms of DNA activation that you can have, because of the frequency, and also because of how the clicking, the tapping literally works with each the individual cell, right? So it's really cool for me to have thought at one time, like, how did I get this clicking language when all these other people have these like beautiful spoken tongues, like ancient Egyptian sounding languages. And then to then realize what this was very beautiful. But what people don't know is after that soul remembrance, I went into a huge dark night of the soul, really deep down, dove into my shadow, dove into what I was feeling, why I was feeling it, why are these things coming up, where is this coming from, really activating that kundalini and expanding is when I started to recover more of my soul. I started going to the places that I was being led to go, like Egypt, Peru, Colombia, Rome, Italy, all Arizona, all of these places where my soul had previous lives in. And each time that I would heal myself, bring back up, activate that kundalini, heal, bring back up, as above, so below, each time I would do plant medicine, work through more things, a new language would come up. It was like left and right. And I realized that why I am a direct channeler and why I can say I'm a direct channeler is because a lot of what I channel resonates with my soul alchemy and my soul frequency. These languages that come up are languages that I have from my soul, languages that I have acquired from the places that I've been to, the healings that I've done in those lives through quantum alchemy and through the ascension process with that, through kundalini activations. that's what has allowed me to have such an expansive light language. I don't want to say portfolio, but we'll say portfolio. So can I call in specific deities that are not necessarily my soul frequency? Yes. Does that mean it's outside of me? No, because technically we're all one on the quantum level, right? So I don't feel like a lot of people realize that, but sometimes maybe you don't need to do all of these like frequency alignments and things like that to call it in. Like, you believe it's outside of you. But if you really drop in, this is channeled right now. If you really drop into that solar plexus or into those chakras where that frequency resonates, you are able to channel from that, right? I'm literally changing my whole perspective right now. So I think that you can just channel directly to begin with. There's no need to do this frequency alignment or upgrade. Like, there's no need to think it's outside of you. It's always inside of you. It's an innate ability, right? And if you can't channel inside of you, that means there's something inside of you that is reflecting back to you that thinks that this is not you, that this is not your higher self, that this is not your consciousness level, right? So we're always searching for a higher self, but in the quantum realm, we already are. We already are the higher self. So I remember 2 years ago, I had a higher self integration where my higher self is not outside of me, it's inside of me. Because on the quantum realm, I healed everything that I needed to be able to reflect in that in the physical. So use your discernment with everything I say. I always recommend everyone to use their own discernment. But I feel like it's very important to check in with that heart space, with your solar plexus space, and really allow yourself to breathe down into it to go up, right? To access the Akashic records, to access your soul's truest potency, truest alchemy, and then everything else falls in line, right? So let's see if anything else needs to be said. I don't think so. I think that was pretty much the message. Soul alchemy, soul transformation. There is not one part of the soul that wants to leave another part of the soul behind. Very important lesson I learned. So if you're repeating the same pattern, it's not necessarily from this life. It could be through quantum time and quantum entanglement that you're wanting to help other soul fragments receive what you know is true in that moment, in the now. That's why it's so important to be in the now so you can really access your fullest potential. And that's just a very beautiful process. So please let me know how this resonates. Feel free to share. As always, I appreciate it. If you have any comments or questions around anything that I have said thus so far, please let me know. If you didn't watch my last post, please go back and watch that too, because a lot of what I talk about in that post is what can help you to alchemize your soul and your person, your physical reality now, so that you can step into your fullness while still being here. And yeah, like always, if you would like to have a one-on-one mentorship or a healing session with me, it is at the link in my bio. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I love you so much. Remember that you can always lead your day by what choices you choose to make in the morning. You can choose peace, you can choose love, you can choose joy, you can choose to be yourself every morning. So have a great night.